ॐ गणानां त्वा गणपतिं हवामहे कविं कवीनामुपमश्रवस्तमं ज्येष्ठराजं ब्रह्मणां ब्रह्मणस्पतान् शृण्वन्नोतिभिः सीदसादनं श्रीमहागणाधिपतये नमः। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। Dear friends, in the last class we had just completed the 14th mantra and also the avatarika for the 15th mantra. We have seen the pravilapana prakriya, the way in which this negation, this process of negation takes place, and the karya is merged into the karana, that the entire sequence of karyas getting merged into the karanas, that entire sequence we have seen. And we have also seen that degree of subtleness of each thing. And then in the last mantra which we read, that is Uttishtha Jagrata, the Shruti was exhorting the reader. You arise, awake, go to a good teacher, know about your Atma Tattva. So that is what it was saying. And then this Avatarika is also saying, Avatarika is talking about that stage where all these gradations of this Sukshmatva etc. they have come to an end. So all these Sukshmatva etc. they are all happening only because only as long as these characteristics are there. For example, it has the Avatarika was mentioning that earth has got 5 qualities, that is smell, taste, color, touch and sound. Then water has 4 qualities. Then fire has 3 qualities. The less the number of qualities, the greater the subtleness, Sukshmatva. So what to talk of? That Supreme Brahman or that Atman which is Nirguna, which is not having any characteristics. So that is how that introduction ended. When you are having so many characteristics, so many defining features, you are a definite entity. Where you do not have any of these characteristics, what to talk of such a thing which is a totally infinite entity? When you are having a characteristic, you are a finite entity. When you are not having all those things, you are an infinite entity. So what to talk of that infinite entity which is not having any of these characteristics like Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa etc. So that is how this mantra is about to start. This Avatarika we have completed. We have to start this 15th mantra today. So let us read the mantra. Ashabdam asparsham arupam avyayam tatharasam nityam agandhavacchayat anadyanantam mahatah param dhruvam nichayatan mrutyumukhat pramuchyate. Okay, so this he is saying, having known this, you will get released from, or you will get liberated from this jaws of, or the mouth of death. Not jaws, of course, Mrityu Mukha. The Shruti says Mrityu Mukha. From the mouth of death, okay, you can also say from the jaws of death, you will be released, having known what is your Atman. So what is that Atman? So he says, the Shruti says, Ashabdam, Asparsham, Arupam, Avyayam. These are all the adjectives which are used in this mantra. There are 9 or 10. Ashabdam, Asparsham, Arupam, Avyayam, Tatha, Arasam, Nityam, Agandhavat, Anadi, Anantam, Mahataha Param, Dhruvam. So many things are, so many words are used to describe what is the nature of this self. So let us see what it is. So this is Ashabdam. So earlier we have seen all these things like Prithvi, Akashat, all these things which are having so many characteristics. All those characteristics are totally absent here. All these Indriya Vishayas, this Shabda, the Indriya Vishayas, they are also not there, which means that this is not the object of all these 5 senses. Only when the Vishayas are there, then there is a corresponding cognition by a sense object. So the sense objects cannot operate there because all those characteristics are absent in that Nirguna Chaitanya, in that say pure consciousness which is devoid of all these attributes. Nirguna means that which is devoid of all attributes, gunas. So Ashabdam, this is something which is where the Shabda, that sound less, let us say. Then Asparsham, that touch less, which means that sense of touch or anything like that, it doesn't apply to that. Ashabdam, Asparsham. Then Arupam, Rupam is a form. So that form also is not there. Then Avyayam, this is something which does not diminish. Avyayam we know. Na Vyeti iti Avyayam. Vyeti means that V plus Eti. Gatau, that is that which declines, that which diminishes is Vyaya, Vyeti, that is Vyayam. Na Vyeti iti Avyayam, that which doesn't diminish, that which doesn't decline. So that which doesn't undergo any change. So that is it. Then Tatha Arasam, Tatha likewise Arasam. Arasam means that is without taste, tasteless. Like you see in a chemistry laboratory, you talk about colorless, odorless, tasteless. So something like that. So Tatha Arasam. Then Nityam. Nityam is that which is eternal, which is always present. Nityam. Agandhavat. Why this Nityam word is used? When you say that it is so colorless, odorless, tasteless, everything less, somebody may say it is, that also is not there. So it is not like that, that is there. Even that entity called consciousness is very much there. You can't negate it. You may negate other things like taste, smell and all these things, but you can't negate that consciousness. So Nityam, Agandhavat. Agandhavat means that Gandha, that sense of smell is absent. So all these Indriya Vishayas are not there. So that is why it is also not the object, that is not the object for all these five senses. So that is the meaning here. Nityam Agandhavatsya Yat, that which, Yat means that which. Then Anadi Anantam. Then Anadi, this consciousness is something which is Anadi. I was telling in the last class also, consciousness cannot be, nobody can say that consciousness is suddenly produced now. Because consciousness is something which is Anadi. If something is produced today, it means that it did not exist earlier. That non-existence, that prior non-existence, there is a word called Prag Abhava. Prag Abhava. That is prior non-existence. So in the case of consciousness, you can't say it was non-existent earlier. Because if you say that it was not existing earlier, then who is the person who cognized it? Who is the person who came to know that it was not existing earlier? Then if you say that somebody cognized it, then obviously that man had some intelligence, that person had some intelligence, which means the same, what you are saying is just negated. So that is why that prior non-existence cannot happen in the case of consciousness, it is always there. Then Anadi. Then Anantam. Anantam. There is no karyam for this. If there is a karyam only, that karyam will get destroyed. So there is no karyam for this. This is only remotely, it is say karanam for this and whole srushti. This Maya is just an appearance in that. That is why in Vedanta we don't say that Jagat is created. Jagat is a drishyam. Jagat, Srushti, what is the Srushti Sthiti, Shrutis are there. There are some Shrutis which are describing the process of Shruti, process of Srushti like Akasha, Dvayu, Huva, Yoragni, etc. in some other Upanishads also. But then ultimately what the Upanishad says is, this is all Drishyam. This is just an appearance. We don't say that Srushti is a Karyam. Srushti is a Drishyam, we say. So then Anadi Anantam. Anantam is anything which is having a Karyam will become, and it will also have an end. But here it has no Karyam, so that is why it has no end. Then Mahataha Param Dhruvam. Mahataha Param. That Mahat we have seen. What is that Mahat? Mahat is that Avyakruta, otherwise called Maya. This is something which is that Mahataha Param. It is distinct. It is Vilakshanam, distinct. It is totally distinguished from that Avyakta. And then it is Dhruvam. Dhruvam is that again something like Nityam only. It is eternal. This is something which is certain. Dhruvam is something which is certain. Its existence cannot be negated. So that is it. Then Nichayatan. Nichaya Tat. Tat plus Mrutyumukhat becomes Tan Mrutyumukhat. Nichaya Tat. Tat means that one. Nichaya. Nichaya means having clearly known. Nishchayena Chayanam Krutva. Chayanam, we know this Chayanam. Chayanam is choosing, choice. Chaya. Chaya dhatu. Say that means choosing. Nichaya means nishchayena chayanam krutva. We have heard this word called Agni Chayanam. This collecting the Agni, etc., etc. So, Nichaya means Nishchayena Chayanam Krutva, which means that is having firmly or having clearly understood it, having clearly known it, having clearly ascertained it. Then, what happens then? Mrutyumukhat pramuchyate. From the mouth of death, you will be pramuchyate. Pramuchyate means you will be liberated, you will be released, which means that you will not fall into the cycle of samsara. Once you know the real nature of your Atman, you will not identify yourself with this body, mind, indriyas and all these things. You will realize that you are that supreme consciousness. So that is the meaning here. Then let us see the bhashyam. Ashabdam asparsham arupam avyayam.
Ashabdam asparsham arupam avyayam.
Tatharasam nityam agandhavacchayat. So he is just repeating the first line of the mantra. Have you found it or not? Bhashyam.
No,
Probably that avatarika and bhashyam are mixed up. So that avatarika, darshayati shrutihi, that avatarika is over there.
Yeah.
From there, you see.
Ashabdam asparsham ityadya.
Okay. Ityadhyakyatam, etad vyakyatam brahma avyayam.
Etad vyakyatam brahma avyayam.
Have you got it?
Yes.
Okay. So there, etad vyakyatam brahma avyayam. So this brahma, which has been described in this manner, like ashabdam, asparsham, arupam, avyayam, etc., 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 etad vyakyatam means in this manner, what has been told, brahma avyayam. Here also you see this word brahma. Shankaracharya is, instead of using the word Atma, he is using the word Brahma. That is, Brahma is the same as Atma. So that is why at every step they are pointing out, the Shruti points out, the commentators point out that this Atma, what you call it, is nothing but Brahma. So here, this mantra you see, Etad Vyakyatam Brahma Avyayam. This is something which is undiminishing. Avyayam, just now we saw. Then, Yadhi Shabdadimat Tad Vyeti Idam tu Ashabdadimatvat Avyayam Na Vyeti Na Kshiyate. Yadhi Shabdadimat, that which is having these Vishayas called Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Shabda Adi. Shabda Adi means it includes Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha, all these five sense objects. So, yat he means yasmat, yat shabdadimat, that which is having all these things like shabda, sparsha, rupa, etc. Tad vyeti, that undergoes a change, that declines, that diminishes. Idam tu, this on the other hand, ashabdadimatvat avyayam, because it is not having any such characteristics. Ashabdadimatvat, these shabdadi things are not at all there, not at all attached to this. All these attributes, they do not apply to this. That is why it is na vyeti. That is why it is avyayam na vyeti. Na kshiyate, it doesn't diminish. Atayevacha nityam yadhi vyeti tad anityam idam tu na vyeti ato nityam. So this is also clear. Atayevacha nityam. Because it is avyayam, we are also, the Shruti is also saying it is nityam. Because it is avyayam, it is also nityam. But only something which diminishes alone will become, it will vanish over a period of time. This is something which is not vanishing. So that is, the Srushti appears on that. It is not as though God has taken out one limb, that somebody who is sitting in the sky, suppose you think that there is a creator there. Somebody sitting in the sky, he has taken out a limb and created some, fashioned this earth. If there is some other material external to this God, then what will happen to this nature of God? God himself will be a very limited person. Suppose you imagine somebody sitting in the sky, and that somebody sitting in the sky, some fine morning, he wants to create all these things. Then what is the material with which he has to create? Suppose you also think that there is some material in front of him. Then obviously, who created that material? Who created that material? And then God himself becomes a limited entity. Even if he is highly powerful, he becomes a very limited entity. So long as you imagine or visualize some other Prakriti which is distinct from him. So that Prakriti has to be himself. Suppose you visualize God as a person with some limbs. May not be a human body, it may be an ant's body, it may be something like some Godzilla or something like that. So if you imagine like that, then what will happen? Then that particular divine form, it has to take out one finger or some limb, and then it has to create something, isn't it? So that means that avayava vyapachaya chaya is there, isn't it? So gradually some part of this gentleman will go. So naturally that will diminish over a period of time. So this is something which is not what we have seen is that this consciousness, there is no change in the consciousness. You can't say that a portion of consciousness has become this matter. So the whole consciousness, it is just appearing in that thing. The whole Srushti as we see it is an appearance in that consciousness. So that is the meaning. That is why it is Nityam, it is Avyayam. Then Itasya Nityam Anadi Avidyamanaha Adihi Karanam Yasya Asya Tadidam Anadi. So this is also called Nityam. The Itasya Nityam means for this reason also it is Nityam. Itasya means for this reason also it is Nityam. Why? What is that reason? Anadi, because it is Anadi. That is, I just said how this is Anadi. Chaitanyam cannot have an origin. There is no prior non-existence to consciousness. So this Anadi, Avidyamanaha Adihi Asya iti Anadi. Anadi, what is the, Vigraha Vakyam? Anadi is a samasa. Anadi is a samasa. Vigraha Vakyam is Na Vidyate Adihi Yasya Tad Anadi. That is the Vigraha Vakyam. So this is the Adi or origin is just not seen. So that is why it is called Anadi. Then Yadhi Adimat Tat Karyatvat Anityam Karane Praliyate Yatha Pruthivyadi. So we have seen one rule. What is that rule? Karya. Have you got it or not?
Yes.
We just put some AC. It's getting hot. Switched off or what?
No.
Okay. Let there be some AC. Yadhi Adimat Tat Karyatvad Anityam Karane Praliyate. We have seen one rule. What is that rule? Karyam always gets resolved in Karanam. Karyam is effect is always resolved into the Karana. The part which is an effect always gets resolved into the clay which is the Karanam or the cause. So likewise, this whole earth is again a Karyam, and this Karyam gets resolved into water. Water is its Karanam. Water gets resolved into fire because fire is its Karanam. Fire gets resolved into air because air is its Karanam. So this Karya gets resolved into the Karanam. That is one rule which we have seen. So this thing, this consciousness or Atma which you are talking about is something which is not a Karyam. Yadhi Adimat Tat Karyatvad Anityam. Adimat means that which is having an origin. Yat hi Adimat, that which is having an origin. Karyatvad Anityam means that is non-eternal, that cannot be, that is ephemeral or impermanent. Anityam is impermanent. Why? Karyatvat. Because it is a Karya. Whatever is having an Adi or origin, it owes its origin to something else, isn't it? So that something else becomes the Karana. So this Karya becomes Anitya, this Karya becomes impermanent. So this thing is not like that. It will not, Karane na praliyate, that is, it is not going to resolve in its Karanam because there is no Karanam for this. Yatha Pruthivyadi, like Pruthivi, it is not going to get resolved in any other Karana. Idam tu sarva karanatvat akaryam akaryatvat nityam na tasya karanamasti yasmin praliyeta. So idam tu means, on the other hand, this one, this Atma or this Brahma as we call it, sarva karanatvad akaryam. This is an akaryam, this is not a karyam. On the other hand, it is the cause for all things. not the direct cause. Again, we have to remember it is that remote cause, remote cause for all things. Sarvakaranatvad akaryam, akaryatvad nityam. Because it is not a karya, it is nityam. So these things are interdependent. Na tasya karanamasti yasmin praliyeta. There is no karanam, there is no cause for this in which it will get resolved. If there is a karanam, it will certainly get resolved. There is no karanam for this, there is no cause for this. There is no karanam means karana, cause for this. So that is why this thing is not going to get resolved in anything else. So then, tatha anantam avidyamanaha antaha karyam asya tad anantam.
Avidyamanaha antaha karyam yasya tad anantam.
Anantam. So that which is having one karyam, that which is having one karyam is having it is say that is antavat. Antavat means that which is having a karyam. But here there is no karyam. There is no karyam for this. Anta for the word anta, the Shankaracharya is giving the meaning as karyam. Avidyamanaha antaha yasya tadanantam. Avidyamanaha antaha, for the word anta he is saying karyam. It is not say there is no karyam for that. So that is why, or it is not the karyam for anything. So that is why it is called anantam. It is not the karyam for anything. So that is why it is anantam. Yatha kadalyadehe phaladi karyotpadanena api anityatvam drushtam nacha tathapi antavatvam brahmanaha atopi nityam. So he is having another common example which we see. A common example is a banana tree, a plantain tree. What happens to a banana tree? Once it bears that fruit, that huge thing comes, that whole collection, that bunch of fruits they come, and once that bunch is cut off, you also cut off the tree, isn't it? Once that bunch comes, you take out that bunch, and then you also remove the tree. Then some other tree comes and that also gives a bunch, and then you take that bunch and you cut off the tree. So kadalyadehe yatha kadalyadehe. Kadali means, kadali is that banana tree. Yadi kadali adehe, kadalyadehe phaladi karyotpadanena api anityatvam drushtam. So this is producing a cause. This is producing one karyam, that is that bunch of bananas. And then tasya vinasham, tasya anityatvam drushtam. You are also seeing that anityatvam that is being cut off. So nacha tatha, likewise, it is not happening in the case of Brahma. Antavatvam na brahmanaha drushtam. It is not producing some karyam and again getting eradicated. It is not like, it is not happening in the case of a Brahma. In the case of Brahman, na tathapi, even in that manner. Tathapi means even in that manner, that antavatvam is not seen in Brahma. Antavatvam means finiteness. Antavatvam is that finitude or finiteness, limitedness, delimitedness, that is not seen in Brahman. Then atopi nityam. Atopi means even for that reason. For that reason too, ataha api, for that reason too, it is called nityam. This Brahma is nityam. Then the next line is coming. Mahato anadyanantam mahatah param dhruvam. Mahatah mahattatvat buddhyakhyat param vilakshanam nitya vignapti swarupatvat sarva sakshihi sarvabhutatmatvat brahma. So this mahatah mahattatvat. So this mahattattvam, we are again coming to this mahattattva. We know this mahattattva is an emanation within that maya. From that, the first appearance is maya, which is there, and in that maya, the first appearance is mahattattva. That is the first tattva which we call Hiranyagarbha, that cosmic mind, that cosmic ego, where the first manifestation of that ego comes. So beyond that, this mahattattva buddhyakhyat param. Buddhi means, what is that buddhi? Buddhi means that I feeling. Separately, some particular, the same consciousness suddenly gets identified with some, insentient thing, and then it feels that it is something different. We have seen the example of wave. How a wave Suddenly he sees that say its breadth, length, and also the say what is this wave length and whatnot. So that wave thinks, oh, I am a wave of this size. I have this particular speed. With this particular speed I am moving. So I am different from the ocean. So that is what it thinks. So likewise, this buddhi is something the same, just as the same water identifies itself as gives a distinct identity to itself as a wave. The same consciousness, by association with some insentient thing called say the prakriti, sattva, rajas, tamo, guna, etc., it is calling itself a buddhi. So the first buddhi is that mahat. The first such buddhi is mahat, which is responsible for the buddhi of all the beings in the universe. So that is what we have seen earlier. So buddhyakhyat, mahat tattvat buddhyakhyat, that from that mahat, which is otherwise called buddhi, this is something vilakshanam. Vilakshanam means it is distinct. It is totally to be distinguished. Then nitya vignapti swarupatvat. Why should it be distinguished? Because it is of the nature of nitya vignapti swarupatvat. So this is always, the number one, it is eternal, nityam. That buddhi is something which is anityam. That buddhi, cognitions, they come and go. But here this is the thing which is actually illuminating that buddhi. This buddhi or consciousness is something which is illuminating that vignapti swarupatvat. Vignapti, in Telugu we use the word wrongly. Vignapti, we some petition or something like that. Vignapti actually means V is only an upasarga. Gnapti is the same as jnanam. Gnapti is the same as jnanam. That prajnana ghanam we have seen. We saw another word called vijnana ghana, prajnana ghana. Whatever is that the same by this say this by prajnana ghana, whatever we refer to, the same meaning we have to take it here. Vignapti swarupa. It is of the nature of the ocean of consciousness. Prajnana ghana, that vignapti, all these words are one and the same. That is that pure awareness, that space-like consciousness, that space-like awareness. So that is it. Nitya vignapti swarupatvat sarva sakshi. Sarva sakshi means this is what is illuminating every other thing. Sakshi does not mean a witness. This word, of course, we should not understand, we should not misunderstand that there is somebody who is sitting in you and then who is watching every moment. That is not the sakshi. Sakshi actually means that Chaitanya which is responsible for illumining your antahkarana. In antahkarana is also having some Chaitanyam in it. Without that thing, it will not reflect. That antahkarana avachinnam Chaitanyam is jiva. That jiva who identifies himself with that antahkarana, that is antahkarana avachinnam Chaitanyam. There is another word called antahkarana upahita Chaitanyam, which is the Chaitanya which is actually illuminating the whole thing. So that is actually called jiva sakshi, isn't it? So these two words we have come across, jiva and jiva sakshi, upahita Chaitanyam and avachinna Chaitanyam. So these two things, so here this is sarva sakshi. Sarva sakshi means this vignapti or this vijnana, this pure consciousness is something which is not mixed up like buddhi is getting identified with some body-mind complex. That mahat tattva is also getting identified with that sattva, rajas, tamo gunas at a higher level. Just as a human body, the mind is getting identified with this sattva, rajas, tamo guna which are there in the body. Likewise, whatever that sattva, rajas, tamo guna are there in the maya, this mahat tattva is getting identified and then it is calling itself a totally different buddhi. So like that. So this buddhi is something which is of the nature of pure consciousness. Then sarva bhutatmatvat, because this is something which is also indwelling in everything, which is illuminating every sarva bhuta, all these bhutams, all the beings, it is the illuminer. So that is why uktam hi yesha sarveshu bhuteshu, the same mantra which we have seen earlier, yesha sarveshu bhuteshu gudhotmana prakashate, something like that. Gudhotmana prakashate drishyate tvagriya buddhya, that 12th mantra which we have seen, he is referring to that. Uktam hi, because it has also been told, this thing, this Atma is something which is there in every being. Sarveshu bhuteshu, in all beings it is there. Ityadi. Dhruvam cha kutastham nityam न पृथिव्यादिवद् अपेक्षिकं
न पृथिव्यादिवदापेक्षिकम्
अपेक्षिकं नित्यत्वम्.
आपेक्षिकं नित्यत्वम्.
So this dhruvam, for the dhruvam also he is what is the meaning of dhruva? We know what is called a dhruva nakshatram. What is the dhruva nakshatram? That pole star. That is supposed to be something which is fixed with reference to the earth. So that is why it is called dhruva nakshatra. So dhruva means that which doesn't move, that which is quite strong, that which is very stable. So here it is kutastham nityam. We have seen the word kutastha. Kutastha means, kuta has two meanings. Kuta means something which is totally deep inside and then which is unmoving. Kuta also means if you have seen a blacksmith who heats up iron rods and then hits them, he keeps them on an iron, what is called an anvil, and then on that anvil he puts that rod and then hits with a hammer. So this anvil on which all these things are beaten, this thing doesn't change, whereas that rod which is heated, that changes in shape. So this which does not undergo any change is called that kuta. So kutastha, kuta actually gives that meaning. So something like an anvil, it doesn't undergo any change. On that all appearances they come and go, but that kuta itself does not undergo any change. So that kutastha has these two meanings. Then kutastha nityam. So it is something which is eternal, it is there which is there in everything, not something like pruthivyadivad apekshikam nityatvam. Pruthivi also, in a relative sense, we say it is eternal. Because with reference to a human life, the human life is only 100 years maximum, and then Pruthivi's life is so many millions of years, maybe a few billions years, exact number I don't know. Say what science says is say some about 8 billion or some 7 or 8 billion or maybe more years. So Prithvi so compared to us, that is say relatively it is nitya. So this and that Prithvi itself is anitya with reference to Brahman. Prithvi itself is a small manifestation in this whole cosmos. What we call earth is a very, very small manifestation in the whole cosmos, isn't it? So that is why Prithivyaadivat na anityam. This is apekshikam nityatvam. Apekshikam nityam means it is a sort of relative. Sapekshikam. Sapeksha we know. Apeksha means with reference to something else. Sapekshikam nityatvam is relativity. Not the theory of relativity, relative nityatvam. So that is something. There are two things called kutastha nityatvam and pravaha nityatvam. Suppose you see a river. That river is flowing, always flowing and flowing. And we say that river is something which is nityam. So it is pravaha. Pravaha means a stream. It is continuously flowing. So it is called the nityatvam of a pravaha. Nityatvam of a stream, the eternality of a stream. So here we are not referring to that relative nityatvam, but we are referring to the kutastha nityatvam. So on which all other things appear, on which all other changes take place. So that is what is kutastha nityatvam. Na pruthivyadivad apekshikam nityatvam. Tad evam bhutam brahma, atmanam nichaya avagamya tam atmanam mrutyugocharat avidya kama karma lakshanat pramuchyate vimuchyate. So here he says tat evam bhutam brahma atmanam. Here again Shankaracharya is clearly saying tat evam bhutam brahma. Brahman which is of this nature. Evam bhutam is one who is of this nature. Evam bhutaha brahma. The Brahman who is of this nature, or which, we should not say who. Brahman we always refer to it as it. Brahman which is of this nature, which is also the Atma. Tad evam bhutam brahma atmanam. That is which is the same as Atma. Atma means your own self, the same self. Nichaya avagamya. Nichaya means avagamya, having clearly understood. Nichaya tam atmanam, having clearly understood that particular Atma. Then what happens? Mrutyumukhat pramuchyate. What is this mrutyumukham? Mrutyugocharad avidya kama karma lakshanat. So this avidya kama karma lakshanam itself is mrutyu. There is a rule in Vedanta. Ajnanam vai mrutyuhu. Mrityu is nothing else but Ajnanam. Mrityu is something which is happening to the body. Whereas a person thinks that he is dying. The person with this we have seen right from Gita Bhashyam, right from the 13th or 14th shloka of Gita, we have been seeing Antavanta ime dehaha nityasyokta sharirinaha anashino prameyasya. Right from that time we have been seeing that this jiva is something which is nitya. We are not referring to that linga sharira alone. We are referring to that consciousness which is associated with this thing. We are not referring to linga sharira. Linga sharira, of course, that also can be liberated, because that linga sharira at some point of time, because of its samskara balam, it can go into your body, do some sadhana, acquire some self-knowledge, and then get liberated. Then that Chaitanya is something which is always there. That Chaitanya, instead of getting associated with linga sharira, it gets liberated. So that is what happens there also. So we have seen that this Ajnanam is what is called Mrityu, and this Mrityu only takes place for the body. So that is the thing which we have to see here. Mrityu Mukhat, Mrityu Gocharad, Avidya Kama Karma Lakshanat. What is the characteristic or what is the nature of this Mrityu? Avidya Kama Karma. Each leading to the other. That is, because of Avidya. Avidya means ignorance. Because you are feeling that you are a finite being. Because you are identifying yourself with this body-mind complex. Because you are having that feeling of finiteness or limitedness. Because of that limitedness, you want to acquire that. Limitedness is what? Today I have this much of property. I have to increase my bank balance. I have to do this. I have to acquire this. I have to get this. So that feeling of limitedness is producing desire in him. Avidya leading to kama. And that desire is leading to action. Avidya, kama, karma. So first, each leading to the other. Avidya is the first cause, and then this is leading to the kama, this is leading to karma. So that is what is shown here. Mrityu Gocharad, Avidya, kama, karma, lakshanat. So each leading to the other. That feeling of finiteness is there. Not infiniteness. That feeling of infiniteness is not there. Feeling of finiteness or limitedness is leading him, is creating some desire in him, and then the desire is leading to action. Is it clear?
Yes.
Avidya kama karma lakshanat pramuchyate vimuchyate. So he gets freed. Once he realizes that he is of that infinite nature, then he gets released from these desires. So then prastuta vijnana stutyartham aha shrutihi. So having this here, of course, this message in this particular vallis, whatever message is intended in this valli is over here. So that is why the last couple of mantras, they are praising this knowledge. Prastuta vijnana stutyartham. In order to praise this particular vijnana, Shruti is saying like this. What is that? Nachiketam upakhyanam mrutyuproktam sanatanam uktva shrutva cha medhavi brahmaloke mahiyate. Okay. Nachiketam upakhyanam. This particular anecdote relating to Nachiketa. Upakhyanam. Akhyanam means story. Upa Akhyanam. It is something like a subplot. There is a major theme. In that major story, in a cinema, suppose in a big play, there is a small subplot. So there is a hero, heroine on one side. There is another Vidushaka. There is some, what is that? Say the comedian. And his story is going on parallelly. So something like that. Upakhyanam is a subplot or a small story or an anecdote. Of course, here, it's not like that. Here, Upanishad is only a part of Veda, we know. Upanishad is a small part of a huge Veda. And in that Veda, there are so many anecdotes. So this anecdote, from the point of view of that Rishi who has written this thing, it is a small anecdote. From our point of view, we have been reading it for the past few months. But then from the point of view of that Rishi who wrote that, who visualized, who had a vision of that particular Veda, this is a small anecdote. So this Nachiketam Upakhyanam, this anecdote referring to Nachiketa, Mrityu Proktam Sanatanam. This is something which is told by the Mrityu, the Lord of Brahma Vidya. He is the teacher of Brahma Vidya. He, Mrityu, here again ironically, Ajnanam vai Mrityuhu, we said that Mrityu Deva does not symbolize Ajnana. Mrityu Deva symbolizes Jnana. So this gentleman, he is the teacher of this Brahma Vidya. Mrityu is the symbol of Brahma Vidya. So he teaches that Brahma Vidya. Mrityu Proktam Sanatanam. Sanatanam again is eternal. And Uktva Shrutva cha Medhavi. Uktva, having told others. Shrutva, having heard. So referring to you and me. Medhavi. Medhavi means one who understands these things. Not only just listening or merely saying, but we have to realize. Both the person who teaches and also the person who listens, they are supposed to realize. So Medhavi Brahmaloke Mahiyate. They stand glorified or they stand gloriously in that Brahmaloka. Here again Brahmaloka does not refer to any particular loka. Brahmaloka is that state of space-like awareness, that state of happiness, that state of infinitude. All this finiteness or parichannatva is discarded, and then you are discarding your limited identity, and then you are identifying yourself with that Brahman. You have expanded yourself to become Brahman. So that is that state, that is the stage called Brahmaloka. Not some other space, some loka which is there somewhere in space. So Brahmaloke Mahiyate. So that is that Jiva Brahmaikya Sthiti, where this Jiva gets identified with, merges in the, say he realizes that he is not a limited entity, but he is nothing but Brahman. So that is that Brahmaikya Sthiti. So he gets over his feeling of finiteness. So that is it. This line, mantra is clear, I think.
Yes.
Let us read the Bhashyam. Nachiketam Nachiketasa Praptam Nachiketam
Nachiketasa Praptam Nachiketam
Mrityuna Proktam Mrityu Proktam
Mrityuna Proktam Mrityu Proktam
Idam Akhyanam Upakhyanam
Idam Akhyanam Upakhyanam
Vallitraya Lakshanam
Vallitraya Lakshanam
Sanatanam Chirantanam
Sanatanam Chidantanam
Vaidikatvat Uktva Brahmanebhyah
Uktva Brahmanebhyah
Shrutva cha Acharyebhyah Medhavi Brahmaiva Loko Brahmalokah Tasmin Mahiyate Atma Bhutaha Upasyo Bhavati Ityarthaha. So in one line Shankaracharya has also finished the Bhashyam. Nachiketam. He is explaining the words simply. Nachiketasa Praptam Nachiketam. That which has been obtained by Nachiketa is, Nachiketasa is Trutiya Vibhakti, instrumental case. So Nachiketasa Praptam, that which has been obtained by Nachiketa is Nachiketam. It's a Tadhita Pratyaya. Then Mrityuna Proktam is Mrityu Proktam. Mrityuna Proktam, told by Mrityu, told by this Brahma Vidyacharya, who is that Yama. Then Mrityuna Proktam, Idam Akhyanam Upakhyanam. This Akhyanam and also Upakhyanam is same, one and the same. Akhyanam is a story. Kya dhatu. Kya means to proclaim, to tell. Akhyanam, that is something which is told, a story, that is Akhyanam. So, Akhyanam, Upakhyanam, Valli Traya Lakshanam, that which is having these three Vallis. We have finished now three Vallis. Three more Vallis are there, which means we have almost completed one half of the Kathopanishad. Valli Traya Lakshanam, this is Sanatanam Chirantanam Vaidikatvat. And this is supposed to be Sanatanam, which is very, very ancient. Here it is, you can use in both senses. You can take the word as eternal, because this message is something which is eternal, isn't it? This message is something, whatever message we get in the Upanishad is not something which is which can be limited by space and time. It is something which is applicable to all beings in the universe at all points of time. All beings in the universe, whether it is in India or Israel or some other place, it is applicable to everybody. Because this is an analysis of one's own self. This is an analysis of what gunas are there in you. This is an analysis of which is subtler than this, and then in this path of subtleness, this inward journey, you reach that point where say you realize what is your real nature. So this is something which is applicable to everybody, every thinking being. So that is why this is Sanatanam Chirantanam Vaidikatvat, because it has been told in this Veda, it is Chirantanam, that is something which is an eternal message. Then Uktva Brahmanebhyaha, then we have read it. Uktva Brahmanebhyaha, having told this to Brahmins. Brahmins means those who are interested in knowing about Brahman. Not Brahmin doesn't refer to any caste or anything. Brahmanebhya, Uktva Brahmanebhya means having told those people who are jignasus, those who want to know about Brahman. Then Shrutva Acharyebhya, having heard from teachers. Having heard from teachers. Then Medhavi. Medhavi means one who understands it and one who realizes it. Then Brahmaiva Lokaha Brahmalokaha. As I said, this Brahmaloka is Brahmaiva Lokaha. That is Brahma, the state of being Brahma itself is Brahmaloka. So this man loses his identity and then becomes Brahman. This man loses his limited identity and becomes that huge, bigger identity. So which is called Brahma. Tasmin Mahiyate. Then Atma Bhutaha Upasyo Bhavati. Atma Bhutaha. That means he is his own self is Brahman. His own self is that Brahman, and then that the so-called Atma means here that individual self or individual buddhi, that feeling of ego, that ego has merged. It has totally merged, it has totally got annihilated, what we refer to as Mano Nasha. This Manas has been destroyed, and then this Mana has merged into that Supreme Consciousness. So that is that state. So Atma Bhutaha, by being Brahman himself, Upasyaha Bhavati. Upasyaha means respect, to be respected, to be worshipped. He becomes, he deserves to be worshipped. He deserves to be praised, worshipped. Upasyaha. Upasaniyaha Bhavati. He becomes somebody to be respected, to be worshipped. Then last mantra. Ya imam paramam guhyam Shravayed Brahma Samsadi Prayata Shraddha Kaleva Tadanantyaya Kalpate Tadanantyaya Kalpata iti. So this last line, Tadanantyaya Kalpate, Tadanantyaya Kalpata iti, this repetition usually you find in some of these older Upanishads, where that indicates the end of that particular passage, that indicating the end of that particular passage. So that is why it says Tadanantyaya Kalpate, Tadanantyaya Kalpata iti. So like that. So Ya Imam Paramam Gruhyam, this the one who tells this thing, this topmost secret, Paramam Guhyam, this top secret thing, Shravayet Brahma Samsadi, in the group of this, this Brahma Samsadi actually means Brahmananam Samsadi, Brahma Samsadi. That is, in the group of these Brahmanas. Brahmanas again means those who are interested in, or those who know the nature of Brahman, those who are capable of doing this Brahma Vichara. Those who are capable of doing that Brahma Vichara are the Brahmanas. Brahmajnanena Brahmana, that we have to see. Those who are having that Brahmajnanam are the Brahmanas. So, Ya Imam Paramam Gruhyam Shravayet, one who recites this in the group or in the meeting of those Brahmanas, then or otherwise, Prayataha Shraddha Kaleva. Prayataha means Shuchi Bhutva, that is one with a very, very pious mind, in a very pious condition, in a very pious mind, with a pious mind, Shraddha Kale Shravayet. Shraddha Kale. Shraddham we know. Shraddha means that these rituals, these final rituals which we do perform. Shraddham, anything which is done with Shraddha is Shraddham. But otherwise here we are referring to the Shraddha Kala, referring to that final ceremonies. That final rituals when a person dies, or in memory of that annual ritual is there. That annual ritual also is called Shraddham. So in those Shraddha times, in fact you must have seen this, the Brahmins, they come and recite this Kathopanishad at the time of Shraddham. Shraddham is that death rituals. At that time, when if it is recited, Tad Anantyaya Kalpate, that is going to give immense results. that is going to give that immense result. Why do they read this say this thing at the Shraddha time? Because we feel that these say dead people, their Linga Sharira, what we loosely call soul, that Linga Sharira will be lingering somewhere. That Linga Sharira, the subtle body, Linga Sharira is that subtle body. That subtle body is there somewhere. We do not know whether it has really taken a body or not. We do not know whether it is still just waiting to take some body, and in what manner it is either enjoying or suffering. So, in deference to those Linga Shariras, in deference to those subtle bodies, we read this thing and then we say, let these Linga Shariras have a happy, say disposal, let us say. Let us enter some happy bodies. Let them, not let us, let them enter some happy bodies and let them also get some moksha. And then that is why we say, Shashvata Brahmaloka Praptirastu, all those benedictions are there. All those, say, good words, benediction, that is blessings. All those benedictions are there. Shashvata Brahmaloka Praptirastu, which means that let these people also realize their self. Let them take some proper birth. Let them take some, let them have an opportunity to realize themselves and then get into this Brahmaloka. So those are the benedictions told at that time. So that is the meaning here. Yaha imam paramam guhyam. Guhyam means secret. Why is it a secret? Because you say this is Brahma Vidya is something which is called a secret, because if you tell everybody that there is nothing apart from consciousness, nobody is going to listen to you. If you say that there is only consciousness and what all we see is just an appearance in that consciousness, this matter is something which is an appearance in that consciousness, if you say that, maybe a scientist may try with some amount of inquisitiveness, he may try to see what this chap is saying, but then a common man will only laugh at you. So that is the problem. So that is why in olden days also, this was only told to somebody who was highly disciplined, who was already disciplined in the study of Vedas, who had was already mature in conduct of rituals and whatnot. So there is an adhikari for this. There is an adhikari for this Brahma Vidya, somebody who is already well groomed, well disciplined in this path. Only such a man will be told, because he is having that open mind. He is having an open mind to listen and then understand. He will not put unnecessary, say, silly questions. So that is why it was silly questions have to be put. That is the purpose of manana. Manana, serious questions have to be put. But you can't ridicule it. So if you tell an ordinary fellow, he will only ridicule. So that is why this paramam guhyam, it is said, it is very secret. Brahma samsadi yaha shravayet, the one who recites it in a Brahma samsad or during a Shraddha time, then that particular thing that will have infinite effect, infinite impact, that will give infinite results. Let us read the Bhashyam. Yaha kaschit imam grantham paramam prakrushtam guhyam gopyam shravayet granthataha arthatascha brahmananam samsadi brahma samsadi prayataha shuchir bhutva shraddha kaleva shravayet bhunjananam tat shraddhamasya anantyaya anantaphalaya kalpate sampadhyate. So yah kaschit, whoever, imam grantham means this book, paramam means prakrushtam, which is of the highest nature, parama, supreme, prakrushta, that is supreme, guhyam gopyam means secret, is a very it has to be guarded as a secret. Then shravayet, he recites. How? Granthataha arthatascha. So as it is in the text, granthataha means as it is in the text he recites, and also arthatascha means he also explains. There are two ways shravayet means. One is just reciting, like our Veda Pandits, they just come and recite. Most of them, they do not know the meaning of the Veda. So, but not like that. Granthataha arthatascha, you also have to explain the meaning, so that the people who are there, they will also know, oh, this is the nature of Atman, After all, the dead person, okay, let us all wish that the dead person, the Linga Sharira, has to acquire a good body, and then after acquiring that good body, let him also go to Brahmaloka. So with all these things, with all the benedictions of so many people, so that Linga Sharira will have safe passage. Maybe it is also possible that Linga Sharira is no longer there and this man has already become a Brahma, merged with Brahma, we do not know. So anyway, Shravayet Grantataha Arthatascha, you have to explain the meaning also. Then Brahmananam Samsadi, Brahma Samsadi, in the company of these learned people. Then Prayataha Shuchir Bhutva, in a very, very pious condition. You yourself with a very pious mind, with a pious disposition. Then Shraddha Kaleva Shravayet Bhunjananam, at the time of Shraddha, when the people who come bhoktas, they come and sit for bhojanam. At the time of bhojanam, actually this is recited. While those people are having food, this is recited so that it gives some time for them to eat. Otherwise, the Yajamani will be just waiting for them to complete. So the Yajamani also is hungry, right from morning till he will be waiting till about 2 p.m. So this fellow will be hungry, he will be just watching as to when those people will complete so that I can also eat. So it is not like that. So it gives a lot of time for this gentleman to recite this, say, Nachiketa Upakhyanam, so that they will have some comfortable time to eat. Not only that, of course I am telling in a rather light way, not only for that, this is going to give Ananta Phalam, this is going to give endless, that is infinite result. Shravayet Bhunjananam, Tad Shraddham Asya, that particular Shraddham, Asya Anantyaya Ananta Phalaya. Ananta Phalaya means it will give infinite result. Kalpate, Kalpate means it makes that Shraddham eligible for that. Kalpa Dhatu, Kalpate means actually it makes makes that Shraddham eligible for that. It acquires great merit in that sense. Kalpate, Sampadyate, it acquires great merit. Then Dvirvachanam, Adhyaya Parisamaptyartham.
Adhyaya Parisamaptyartham.
Dvirvachanam means that repetition. Tadanantyaya kalpate, tadanantyaya kalpata iti. The Dvirvachanam, that repetition is only to show that this Adhyaya Parisamapti, that is end of that particular Adhyaya. So we have completed this Adhyaya, this first Adhyaya, which is say Prathamadhyaya, Trutiya, Valli, we have completed. Do we have some time? 3 more minutes. We can just very briefly see what we read in this, this third Valli. So initially, the first mantra talked about Ratam Pibantau Sukrutasya Loke. It talked about 2 persons who were drinking this karma phala from this cup of life. So if you take this cup of life, like Umar Khayyam says, this cup of life is being taken or tasted by 2 people. But then immediately the Shruti and also the commentator says that not 2 people. By Kshatri Nyayena we are calling 2 people Rutam Pibantau. Actually one is tasting the karma phala, the other is merely shining, the other is merely illuminating. Anashnananyo Abhichakashiti, that is what we saw. So one is only one is tasting the karma phala, the other is merely present, shining, Kshatri Nyayena. Then later we saw what is that Jiva, that Tvam has to attain that Tat, the journey has to start. In order to start the journey, then there is a Ratha Rupa Kalpana we have seen. There is a Ratha Rupa Kalpana, the body-mind complex itself is the vehicle. From 3rd mantra onwards, right up to 9th mantra, this Atmanam Rathinam Vidhi, Shariram Rathamevatu, all these things, who is the Ratha, who is the Ratha Saradhi, and who is the Pragraha, and who is the charioteer, all these things they have been described. And it has also been told that the Indriyas have to be restrained, they have to be reined in properly. Unless these Indriyas are reined in properly, you will be running after those Indriyarthas, and then you will miss the bus, you will miss your internal journey, you will be only doing your external journey. So that is what we have seen. The chariot rider has to be an expert rider who is controlling these horses. And then if you successfully do this internal journey, then what is the ultimate thing which you get? That is Tad Vishnoh Paramam Padam, they said. That is the supreme place of Vishnu. Vishnu is Vyapana Silaha. Vishnu is the same as Atma, Vishnu is the same as Brahma. So that is what we have seen. Then Shruti then starts this inward journey, and then it starts telling about the degree of subtleness. Indriyebhyah parahyarthaha arthebhyascha parammanaha manasastu parabuddhi, like that. it tells about the inward journey, and which is subtler than what. So the degree of subtleness and karya, karana, chain, etc., it has all been told. And then that chain stops with Purusha. Purushanna param kinchit, sa kashtha sa paragatihi, we have seen that Purushat param, that beyond that Purusha, beyond that Chaitanyam, there is nothing else. Purusha is the same again as Brahma. Purusha is the same as Brahma, is the same as Atma, is the same as Vishnu. Then Purushanna param kinchit. Then we have also seen that the destination is nowhere else. The destination is yourself. You are the person. There is no gamanam. So that is what why we saw Anadhvagaha Advasuparaishnavaha. Those people who want to do this journey, they don't move an inch, but then they reach the destination. They don't move an inch, but they reach the destination. Anadhvagaha bhavanti. That is, they just don't move at all. So that is what we have seen. And then what is this process? What is this process of journey? The process is just by negation. Yached vang manasi prajnaha. Tadyachet jnana atmani. Jnanam atmani mahati niyachet. So that is what we have seen. So that one by one you have to reject these gross things. One by one we have to reject these gross things. You have to surrender one into the other. Surrender this into the next. Surrender this into the next. So like that, you have to keep on surrendering. Surrendering means this is not me, this is not me, this is not me. All these outer layers have to be peeled off. All these layers have to be peeled off. And then that is that process of negation, what we call the Pravilapana Prakriya. So that is what we have seen very recently. Yached Vang Manasi Prajnaha, that one. Then in the last class we also saw that Uttishtata Jagrata Prapyavaran Nibodhata Avekarais we have seen. Then right now, just now today, we have seen that result of such awareness is getting over that Parichannatvam and then becoming that infinite self which is also called Brahma. So that is where we saw. And in the next class we will start the Dvitiyodhyayaha, that is Prathamavalli. So if we can count the 3 vallis, it becomes the 4th valli. Conventionally, in some books they are writing it as 4th valli, Chaturtha valli. Some books, of course, they are saying Dvitiyodhyaya Prathamavalli. It doesn't matter. First Adhyaya 3 vallis, second Adhyaya 3 vallis. It doesn't matter. We will start the Prathamavalli where we have seen this inward journey. Now in the 4th Adhyaya, that is 4th valli, the obstacles for that journey, they will be described first, and how to overcome those obstacles. That we will see in the next class. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.